Hi, dear BTS friend, how are you today? BTS is Jungkook's childhood dream home. From Daegu boy's dream to a real palace in Seoul, not many people know that behind the sparkling stage lights, the applause of thousands of fans, and the luxury that now surrounds him, BTS's Jungkook keeps such a simple and touching story about something he once dreamed of since childhood: a house. Not a big house, not a grand palace, but a warm, quiet, and full of family laughter. Jungkook's childhood dream home, as he has revealed in several interviews, is not about wealth or luxury, but rather about a sense of security and togetherness. But who would have thought, years later, that little dream actually turned into reality in a way he never imagined? Jungkook was born in Busan, but spent much of his childhood in Daegu. He grew up in a simple family, with a life far from excess. Since childhood, Jungkook was known as a shy but curious child. He often sat at the small window of his house staring at the evening sky, imagining what it would be like to have a house with a large yard where he could run around indefinitely. In a few moments, his mother once told him that little Jungkook often drew his dream house in school books. A simple house with a brown roof, two large windows, and a small garden where his mother could grow flowers. Not many kids can keep their promises to themselves, but Jungkook is an exception. Since he started his journey as a trainee at the age of 13, away from his family, Jungkook has always kept a picture of that house in his heart. He promised that one day he would build a house that would make his mother smile every morning. A simple promise, but it actually fuels his determination and hard work in the entertainment world. The journey to the dream house is certainly not easy. At the age of 15, when most teenagers his age were still busy with school life, Jungkook already had to struggle in the dormitory, learning to dance, sing, and adjust to the hard life as a potential idol. In the midst of great stress, longing for home and family becomes a burden on its own. He often says that home, for him, is not just a place to live, but also a symbol of the mother's love that he always longed for. When he was tired, he called his mother, heard her voice, and felt a little stronger. "Have you eaten, son? Or are you okay today?" A simple phrase that always restores Jungkook's spirit every time he almost gives up. Now, after years, that little dream has turned into reality in a much bigger form than he ever imagined. In an elite area of Seoul, Jungkook built a house that many refer to as a private palace. But if you look deeper, the house is not just a symbol of success, but the embodiment of simple childhood memories. From the outside, the house looks modern with a minimalist design and large glass, but the inside is full of warm personal touches. A flower painting in the living room inspired by the garden of his dreams in the past, a music room where he lets go of longing through melodies, and a special room for his mother designed with loving details. According to several close sources, Jungkook was deeply involved in every stage of the house's construction. He not only left everything to the architect, but also chose the material, wall color, to the position of the window. In one short interview, he once said, "This house is not just for me. It's for the person who's always waiting for me to come home, even when I'm too busy to come back." The words seem to describe the deepest meaning of his childhood dream home, not about luxury, but about a place to go home. Army, a loyal BTS fan, welcomed the news of Jungkook's new home with emotion and pride. Many wrote on social media that the house was not just a building, but a symbol of the long journey of a child who fought from scratch to make his family happy. He used to just want to have a little house for his mother. Now he's building a palace. But his heart remained the same, warm and simple, wrote one of the comments that went viral on Twitter. What makes this story even more touching is the fact that Jungkook never really forgets where he came from. On several occasions, he often mentions that he still feels like a child from Daegu who dreams of having his own home. Even as the world worships him as a global pop star, in his heart, he is still little Jungkook, who wants to make sure his mother sleeps comfortably every night. Perhaps this is why Jungkook's childhood dream home means so much, not just to him, but to his millions of fans. He proved that dreams born of sincere love can come true, even if they have to go a long and tearful way. Amid the glitter of the harsh and often cruel world of K-pop, Jungkook is proof that one can reach the top without losing one's identity and the values of the family that raised him. Now, whenever Jungkook comes home from a world tour or a long recording session, he can open his door and breathe in the air he has dreamed of since childhood. There was his mother, who now no longer had to wait for news in the distance, but could greet him with a warm smile. "Have you eaten, son?" It may still be the first sentence he hears every time he comes home, but this time, he can answer calmly, "I have, Mom. I'm home." Jungkook's childhood dream home not only stands on the ground of Seoul, but also in the hearts of millions of people who believe in the meaning of family struggle and love. A house built not with stone and cement alone, but with the tears, hard work, and love of a child who never forgets the roots of his life. And perhaps, on each of its walls, there is still engraved the memory of the little boy from Daegu who once dreamed behind his little window that one day he would have his own home for his mother. Now, that dream has come true. Now, as the afternoon sun pours through the house's large glass, reflecting soft light on the white marble floor, Jungkook often sits quietly in the living room gazing at the dense Seoul cityscape. But in his eyes, it was not tall buildings or crowded streets that were visible, but the shadow of his own childhood, a skinny boy from Daegu who used to run down the street in a faded school uniform. The boy who once didn't know if his dreams would ever come true now sits in the middle of his own dream house, with his mother, in a world that used to exist only in dreams. His mother, who has always been the greatest source of strength in his life, now lives with him in that house. Jungkook makes sure everything in the house reflects his mother's comfort. There is a large kitchen with a soothing aroma of tea every morning, a sitting room with the mother's favorite chair overlooking a small garden, and even a corner of the room specially prepared to put old family photos. On one wall hangs a photo of little Jungkook with his mother, with a small inscription underneath, "You are my first home." A simple sentence that becomes the deepest meaning of all. The house is not just a place to live. It is a symbol of a long journey full of wounds, fears, and courage. When BTS became known to the world, Jungkook often missed the quiet times in their small home. Amid the hustle and bustle of a world tour, thousands of cameras, and the never-ending glare of the lights, there were times when he just wanted to sit on the floor of his old house, eat his mother's homemade food, and laugh carefree. That is the reason why this new house he created with a concept that still retains the old warmth, as if bringing small pieces of his past into the present. There is one room that means the most to Jungkook, a small studio on the lower floor of the house. There, he often spent late into the night, writing songs, creating melodies, and reminiscing about his life's journey. Many fans believe that some of his solo songs that sound full of emotion and nostalgia were born from that space. In silence, with dim lights and the smell of coffee, Jungkook wrote down his deepest feelings: gratitude, longing, and unflagging love for family. "When I sing, I feel like I'm home," she said in one interview. The phrase was not just an artistic expression,